What's going on, Red Sox Nation? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a massive update that could shape the future of the Boston Red Sox for years to come, and trust me, this is one of those stories you don't want to miss because it's not just about what's happening right now in 2026, it's about what this front office is building behind the scenes. We're talking extensions, young stars, long-term strategy, and why the Red Sox might be quietly setting themselves up to dominate the next decade. So make sure you watch till the end, because the details here are honestly kind of crazy when you connect all the dots. Let's start with what we already know, because the Red Sox have actually been laying the groundwork for this kind of move for a while now. Over the last couple of seasons, this organization has clearly shifted its philosophy. Instead of going all in on short-term veteran contracts, they're focusing heavily on locking in young talent early. And we've already seen proof of that with multiple deals. The biggest example is Roman Anthony, who signed a massive 8-year, $130 million extension that could even climb higher with incentives, locking him in as a cornerstone piece through the next decade. That's not just a contract, that's a statement. It tells you exactly how the Red Sox view their future and who they're building around. And it's not just Anthony. You've also got Cedin Rafaela, who was extended on a long-term deal as well, showing that Boston is serious about securing its young core before these players hit their peak and become significantly more expensive. Now, when you look at what's happening in 2026, this becomes even more interesting, because the team is finally starting to see results from that approach. Guys like Anthony are already producing at a high level, and we're seeing flashes from other young players stepping into bigger roles. Just look at opening day this season. The Red Sox came out strong with a shutout win, and who were the key contributors? Young talent all over the field. Roman Anthony had multiple hits, Cedin Rafaela delivered a clutch RBI, and Marcelo Mayer, another young piece, made an immediate impact. This isn't a coincidence. This is exactly what happens when your development pipeline starts to hit at the same time. And that's why this extension conversation is heating up again right now. Because here's the big question the front office is facing: who's next? If you're Boston, you've already committed to Anthony, you've already locked in Rafaela, and now you're looking at the rest of this young core and thinking, do we extend them now before their value skyrockets? And based on recent reports and insider discussions, the answer seems to be yes, or at least they're seriously considering it. One name that keeps coming up in these conversations is Wiley Abreu. The Red Sox actually tried to extend him before his rookie season, but he chose to bet on himself instead. That decision could end up costing the team more now, because if he performs well in 2026, his price tag is only going to go up. And that's the risk with waiting. Boston knows that, and that's why there's a growing belief that they could revisit those talks very soon. Then you've got the pitching side, which is another huge factor here. The Red Sox rotation has quietly become one of the strongest in baseball heading into 2026, especially after adding Rangers Suarez on a 5-year, $130 million deal to anchor the staff alongside Garrett Crochet and Brian Bello. And when you combine that with the emergence of younger arms in the system, it creates another decision point. Do you lock in these pitchers early, or do you risk them breaking out and becoming too expensive to keep? And here's where things get really interesting. This front office, led by Craig Breslow, has shown a clear pattern. They're willing to spend, but they want to spend smart. They're not just throwing money around anymore. They're targeting players they believe can be part of a long-term winning core, and they're trying to secure those players before they hit free agency. That's a completely different approach from what we saw in previous years. At the same time, there are still some short-term contracts on this roster that highlight the transition phase the team is in. For example, Jarren Duran is currently on a 1-year deal for 2026, which means the Red Sox will soon have to decide whether he's part of that long-term plan or not. And that decision could come sooner rather than later depending on how he performs this season. And don't forget, this team is also dealing with trade rumors involving established players, which adds another layer to this whole situation. There have already been reports suggesting that Boston could move a high-paid veteran designated hitter in exchange for younger, more cost-controlled talent. That's exactly the kind of move you make if you're trying to create financial flexibility to extend your young stars. So when you step back and look at the full picture, it becomes clear that this isn't just about 1 or 2 contracts. This is a full organizational strategy. The Red Sox are trying to build something sustainable, something that doesn't rely on constant free agent spending, but instead grows from within. And if they get these extension decisions right, they could be setting themselves up for a very long window of contention. Now let's talk about expectations, because this is where things get really exciting for fans. There are already predictions out there that the Red Sox could be one of the top teams in baseball this season, with some analysts even suggesting they have the potential to make a serious World Series run if everything clicks. And a big reason for that optimism is the combination of young talent and strategic additions. But here's the reality. None of that matters if you can't keep your core together. We've seen it happen before in baseball. Teams develop great players, but then they lose them because they waited too long to extend them. The Red Sox are trying to avoid that mistake, and that's why these extension talks are so important right now. And let's be honest, this is exactly what fans have been waiting for. After some inconsistent seasons, it finally feels like this team has a clear direction. You've got a strong farm system, you've got young stars already contributing at the major league level, and you've got a front office that seems committed to building for the long term. So the big takeaway here is simple. Don't be surprised if we start hearing more extension news very soon. Whether it's Wiley or Brew, whether it's another emerging player, or even someone we're not talking about yet, the Red Sox are in a position where locking in their young talent makes more sense than ever. And if they pull it off, if they manage to secure this core for the next 5 to 10 years, we could be looking at the beginning of a brand new era in Boston baseball. One built on youth, smart spending, and sustained success. But now I want to hear from you. Which young Red Sox player do you think should be the next to get an extension? And do you trust this front office to make the right decisions moving forward? If you enjoyed this update and want to stay on top of all the latest Red Sox news, rumors, and insider breakdowns, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We've got a lot more coming, and trust me, things are only getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.